What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television. Today we're going to be getting to a comic book review, but before we even do that, I hope that today is the day we earn your subscription. If so, you hit that red subscribe bar down below, hit the like button, leave a comment. If you're liking what you see, let me know what you feel about today's subject, the Uncanny X-Men issue 8. And again, for those of you who are following this, I know I'm not up to current issues with this title, but in time that will happen. Issue 8, part 404 of the Raid on Graymalkin story. Now, what this particular issue does, it wraps up the storyline that was happening in Uncanny X-Men and the adjectiveless X-Men title. The team that Cyclops runs in Alaska. So basically, we had three members of the two X-Men teams captured, and Cyclops was initially going to raid Graymalkin to rescue the prisoners, or at least reconnaissance and see what they can do. Rogue wasn't going to sit around because one of her students was the captured member of her team, and she wasn't going to just sit around and do nothing. Uh, Before we get into this final part of the story, though, it's Gail Simone as the writer, Matthew Wilson as the colorist, Javier Garin as the artist, and David Marquez and Matthew Wilson as the cover artist for this particular issue, if I researched that correctly. Now, as we know, Karina Ellis is the warden of Graymalkin Prison now, not Graymalkin School, and one of the big prisoners she has is Charles Xavier in there, and we also have Siren and Blob as basically uh, they were like kind of forced to work with Alice here, the warden. There's also a prisoner that they're holding by the name of Sarah, sorry, Xavier's first girlfriend before even Moira McTaggart was in the picture. And because of Xavier's zeal and zest to um, form his dream, Sarah wanting a family, he rejected that idea. Knew she was lying about being pregnant. She was trying to trap him, but being he's a telepath, he knew that what she was doing. And basically, uh, in the first few issues of the Uncanny X-Men here, run by Gail Simone, she had come back to take out the X-Men, right? And that's how we came across Calico and Jitter and Ransom and Death Dream, because she was going after them. So that's how uh, Rogue and Gambit kind of came across those kids through that storyline with Sarah. Um, yeah, so the prisoners at the time, I'm sorry, it's two of the Uncanny X-Men team members captured. Beast from Cyclops' team was captured, and Jubilee and Calico were captured off of the Uncanny X-Men team. So basically, our two teams here have to face not only Siren and Blob, they also have to uh, keep in mind that Sentinel Wolf Pack, which is basically what it sounds like. Sentinels are in wolf form and hunt in a pack together. In the meantime, also, Xavier is trying to face this character Scurvy that's been working with Ellis, the man in the chair. We're going to learn a little bit more about him now. And we find out that him and Harvey X and Xavier are considered avian mutants because of a tumor that's on their like the base of their skull, right? And I guess it makes their power so unbelievably more powerful that it's even more rarer than Omega mutants, I guess, right? So basically, it's a battle on the astral plane between Scurvy and Xavier. Now, I will say at the end of this issue, we're going to see how things lay out. And this is how Karina Ellis here, and Scurvy met on a podcast debating mutants. Now, we also learn here in this, and so here is Scurvy taking out both teams, or at least attempting to take out both teams. Nice little splash page here, I think. You know what I mean? I'm sorry if I can't get everything in there. We also find out at the end of this issue why, I guess, Karina Miss Ellis, Warden Ellis doesn't like um, mutants, and really, as many mutant haters, so to speak, there was a family member of hers taken out by a mutant, and it skewed her view of mutants and their lack of accountability in her mind, and that so she's going to be the one to step up and make sure that the mutants pay. And usually, when you're just throwing around general terms, you're really not going to know or want to know the nuances of what was going on. If Rogue happens to throw a car at somebody that's going to kill 20 people, right? And she accidentally hurts someone, you know, that other than the intended target, does that count as she committed a crime against humanity? Now she has to go, and you hate mutants all over the place, or was it an accident? You know, there's nuances to a lot of things in life, right? And you have to just figure out where they lay sometimes. I liked this part here because they basically Scurvy threw Juggernaut head on into Rogue's body there. And Rogue is. Excuse me, guys. Rogue should be lucky that she's Rogue, okay? Now, this is where we get Scurvy telling Charles Xavier about Harvey X and stuff, and like where they lay in the mutant hierarchy as far as powers, even though there's a tumor there. I'm so sorry, guys. And Charles is led to believe that he's going to be dying soon because of this. Now, there is a story after this issue called The Hunt for Xavier or something like that. And I'll explain a little bit more about that before I wrap this up. But at some point, Rogue and Cyclops are having a little disagreement, but they're realizing they have to still team up to take down these people, right? Because you can't just keep being, they're facing each other and fighting each other and then still trying to fight Ellis and Scurvy and the rest of the Xavier Institute prison there. Get a little Magic and Wolverine. She's joking to Wolverine. Oh, you're lucky I gotta save you guys instead of kill you guys because you'd be dead meat, Wolverine. And he's kind of telling her the same thing or whatever like that. You know how that goes. We do see here Inmate X, a prison for Inmate X. We initially thought that might be because it's Xavier's prison, but it's not. It has nothing to do with Xavier or anything like that. So we see some of our outlier team meeting up again, and we have Ellis coming with the big guns, and basically she's looking to really, take down these X-Men. But really, look at this team, though. I mean, are you really telling me that you feel like your chances are good with all these heroes about to go against you. And so what they do is come to an agreement, right? Come to uh, an arrangement because they can say we have Sarah, Wolverine, and Rogue certainly know. You can I like how they express basically because Wolverine got his ass whipped by her. We see Xavier winning finally over Scurvy, and Ellis is explaining that she's got these satellites if they feel like they don't want to step down. And one of them is facing the Havana Haven, Louisiana, and the other's facing the town that Cyclops' team is in. And if they decide to not basically call a truce, these satellites are going to cause damage to the whole town and kill how many people? Thousands of people, right? If not, well, I was going to say hundreds, if not thousands, right? Causing millions of dollars of property damage. At least that, you know what I mean? And then depending on how they phrase it to the public, could be that it's another thing to add on to hating mutants for, right? So there's so much more at stake than their pride right now to defeating Ellis. So she allows him to leave. Um, Rogue has a little conversation with Xavier and how he helped her believe in herself. Everyone goes home in a way, so to speak, or at least gets teleported to the same area. And this is when there's a real fallout between Rogue and Cyclops, where they blame each other. And then there's a little scene here at the end where they still celebrate that no one knows who inmate X is. But you can feel the schism, the so to speak, the tension between these two X-Men teams, at least anyway, because I guess there's an exceptional X-Men story, but I haven't really been paying attention to that, and that's where this issue goes and ends on us. And issue 9 on will be a different story, obviously, that we'll get to in due time. The next issue 2 looks interesting because I think that this next story is certainly going to throw our students into working more as a team. We're pretty close to wrapping up the first year of this series, so to speak. It's still going on, and as far as Xavier, the Xavier story, how that goes is that there's a hunt for Xavier, and because he has one Krakoan egg left, and that he gets to hatch it, right? The last Krakoan egg in the last, because I don't know if I'm going to get that story or not, or if it's going to run into these books again. But basically, who was inside the egg was Lalandra, Charles's greatest love, and they go to space to help their daughter, who's the empress of the Shi'ar Empire at the time. And it's going to lead into the crossover that's going on now, Imperial. All right, and we learned that the humans there set up that whole thing. But I made a short about that not too long ago. Maybe, um, maybe I'll see how that story goes, and maybe we'll take a look at that. I don't know. Brings back Nova. It's just a pretty wild story going on. One of Hulk's sons is assassinated. Star-Lord's dad is assassinated. It's insanity in space, man. But anyway, let me know what you think about the Uncanny X-Men title that we've been covering here. I think it's been pretty decent. It's opened my eyes up to maybe checking out more of Gail Simone's writing in the future. um, yeah, that's about it, guys. Don't forget how awesome and amazing you are. And until next time, peace, Snuggles.